Hey guys, the lighting is looking absolutely fire tonight. I don't know what to do about this. Maybe I'll just sit just back here. It's just the sun came out and that's fine. I love it. I mean, the vibes are so good. So much better than usual, but what we do end up having is a bit of a lighting issue. I mean, I'm like half in, half out. Hopefully I'll film before the sun makes more of a progression along the sky. But I'm not complaining because I love when the sun's out. I'm finally feeling a little bit of dopamine. Anyway, hey guys. Today we're talking about Pookie, who's looking absolutely fire tonight. That's just been like an addiction of mine to say now. And I call everyone Pookie and my boyfriend absolutely despises it. Because he's just like, you find one thing to say and you say it 24/7, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. And it just gets really annoying because I say in the most like uncomfortable times. It's just like silent in the house. I'm sure Pookie's looking absolutely fire tonight. And it's just Phoebe like eating a bone. I'm like, Pookie is looking absolutely fire tonight. Today's video is actually very kindly sponsored by NordVPN, who are currently celebrating their birthday. So they're giving out a very special deal. Right now you can get a huge discount on a 2-year plan with 4 additional months completely free if you go on nordvpn.com/Angelika Oles, or you just click the link in the description. So just make sure that you take advantage of NordVPN's birthday deal. It's the best deal on the internet right now and it's completely risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. NordVPN is obviously used for threat protection, and that would be malicious sites, downloads, malware. And as long as you have your NordVPN switched on, threat protection is working even if you're not connected to a different country. So you just have your NordVPN on at all times, whether you need to connect to a different country or not, and it will help you stay safe on the internet. NordVPN has thousands of servers worldwide, so you can enjoy your internet with no limits at all. They also have a strict no-logs policy and 24/7 customer service, so they really are the best service to use for internet protection. I personally like to use a VPN because I go out to work a lot, mainly if I'm just editing videos. It's quite tedious work, so I want to get out into a new environment, and that includes cafes that I don't really know, libraries, etc. And the issue with that is what's called a man-in-the-middle attack, where someone impersonates public Wi-Fi and you connect to it and suddenly your data is just like poof, gone. And obviously I don't want that to happen. I just like to have my VPN turned on just to make sure that my data is hidden behind a wall that the man in the middle cannot access. But that's just one use for me personally, because I spend a lot of time outside, like I said, trying to make my work a little bit more interesting. But I also use my VPN to obviously access content from different countries, that be Netflix and all the different streaming services. I feel like they get more expensive literally every month. Every month there's a price hike, and I feel like I deserve more content for that price. So I just like to access all the different countries to get the most bang for my buck. And I think you guys should do the same with nordvpn.com/Angelika Oles, which is currently the best deal on the internet. That's 2 years at a huge discount with 4 additional months completely free. And there is a 30-day money back guarantee, so there's absolutely no risk at all in just giving it a try. So yeah, let's get back into the tea. Today I want to talk about Pookie because I've been meaning to talk about Pookie, but I didn't really know how to integrate into a video, and now Pookie's being called out, as things go on the internet. I want to preface this video with, this is not a political commentary. This is not a personal attack on people. This is simply me talking about something, and I just don't want this to become that kind of comment section. You know, people are like fighting tooth and nail. I just want to talk about Pookie and the rise and fall of Pookie. That's what I want to talk about, and whatever you think about her at the end of this video, how do I say this? I feel like no one's opinion is going to change. The people that like her and maybe are also politically leaning that way are going to continue to like her, and the people that didn't like her probably already had that vibe and they're not going to like her anyway. So this is not a video to change your mind about something unless you literally just didn't know. But even me from the UK, like, I got a vibe, and whatever you think about that is what you're going to think about that. Oh my god, this is so confusing. I don't want this to become like an attack, okay? Because I feel like this conversation is getting a little bit tense. But subscribe to the bell icon for engagement nonetheless. Let's talk about Pookie for a minute. Pookie is actually called Campbell, which I didn't know. I actually think that name is quite beautiful. She is someone who does outfit of the day videos. She's obviously quite well off financially. She's married to a guy called Jett, and Jett is the guy that popularized the phrase Pookie, and he says, this outfit is absolutely fire, Pookie.
Friday night, date night.
Taking Pookie to a new spot tonight with 3 other couples, and Pookie looks absolutely amazing. Good Lord, babe, I love the all black.
Thank you. I'm wearing my Kelly. I'm so excited. And then I have on girlfriend denim, Revolve little lace top, Revolve sweater, and JLo heels.
I'm wearing a late Christmas present from Campbell. Jacket is Gutteridge. Shirt, Gutteridge also. It's a store out of Italy. Hermes belt. Beige jeans as always. And ostrich Lucchese's tonight.
Outfit of the night, it's date night.
And Pookie is looking particularly amazing tonight. I would call this dress a happy dress.
Babe, oh my god. Okay. I was not expecting that.
Very happy dress.
Oh my god, this dress is Helsa from Revolve, and heels are my Femme LA that look like YSL. I wear these like pretty much every date night, Wolfer tights, and then my Kelly, and I did close it tonight, kind of, because I keep getting some messages telling me to close my bag, so
That's true.
I closed it a little bit for you guys. I think it's cute this way.
Wearing a Brooks Brothers jacket, cashmere sweater, Paige jeans of course, and black cherry Lucchese's.
The turtleneck is my favorite, as always.
Basically compliments her outfits. She just has him next to her and he kisses the ground she walks on in these TikToks, right? We don't know these people personally, but he does a lot of sweet things for her for videos. Like brings her coffee to bed and brings her flowers and says that her outfit's a fire.
So Pookie has been gone on a trip. She just got back. I picked her up at the airport, blindfolded her, and now it's time for her welcome home surprise. So you can remove your blindfold, Pookie.
I'm scared. Holy shit. Oh
Champagne
my
as well?
god.
Yeah, so there's a florist that happens to be like 100 yards from where I sauna. I just walked in, told the owner, I said, I want you to make the most outrageous floral arrangement anybody's ever seen. I want you as big as Pookie. And he said, okay, well, my designer, Lorenzo's like the best in the state. And I said, okay, well, you tell Lorenzo to go absolutely buck wild. And this is what Lorenzo came up with.
Oh my god.
They actually had to assemble it here because they couldn't fit it in the truck.
Oh, I didn't even see the base.
Yes, the base.
Oh my god. That is epic. It's absolutely fire. Oh, I love it. I want to keep the Pookie. I want to keep the Pookie sign. It's too much.
Nothing's too much for the picture. Love my Pookie.
Love you, thank you.
I want that accent so bad. I don't think people understand how badly I want a southern accent. And I've been left with this weird mix of like London / English. You know what I mean? Like it just could be a little bit more interesting. But I feel like every time I speak or attempt to speak with a southern accent, it just sounds like I'm mocking people. And I don't mean to be mocking, I mean to be doing it for real. And it sounds like I am mocking. So Pookie's looking absolutely fire tonight. See, it sounds like I'm just being a like it sounds like I'm being mean. He stands there. He says that her outfit is looking absolutely fire, and he also buys her a lot of things. He buys her Birkins, he buys her Kellys, and people have found his LinkedIn. Turns out he did law. He did like... The American uni system is very different to the UK uni system. So he essentially did a degree, then he did like a post-grad, I'm assuming. I think he's also done his... Well, he did law, and then he also... Which, is that a post-grad? So he must have done something else as well. And then he's also done an MBA. And he makes a lot of money, okay? A lot. And so he buys her Birkins, he buys her Kellys, their house is stunning. People are like, that is the dream relationship. That right there. And obviously people can hear the southern accent. People can see what they want to see. And I think that starts conversations where people are like, well, let's dig in. Because there is that stereotype of what people from the South are like, mainly white people from the South, compared to what people from other areas of America are like. And you know, wherever you sit politically is what you're going to think about this whole situation, right? That's what I mean. Like, if you are also someone from the South who believes what they believe, you're going to keep on thinking Pookie is absolutely fire. And if you're someone who's not from the South and you maybe don't have the same Southern values or Southern opinions, which I'm not saying everyone in the South believes and values in the same thing, but I'm just saying, like, stereotypically, if you're not from those areas and you don't have those similar opinions, then you're obviously going to have an opinion that you're going to have by the end of this video. But I feel like you would have probably already got that vibe from Pookie and Jett, because I, from the UK, got that vibe. Let's just actually give a breakdown of who Campbell and Jett are. I'm going to call them Pookie and Jett because that's just, that's the vibe. They met a few years ago. They didn't date for long from what it seems before they got married. Apparently it was like love at first sight. She was actually late to their date because she was a flight attendant, and basically there was a delay with her flight, which he understood. Obviously she came to the date. They were inseparable ever since. He came and he helped her move into a new apartment, which she felt was so like manly and helpful, and she just felt loved and cherished, which is what you want. And yeah, they've been inseparable since. They got married and now they're living their best Pookie lives, okay?
Story time of how we met.
I walked up to the prettiest girl at a wine bar in Philadelphia, just started talking to her. 2 days later, we were inseparable, and 10 months later, we were engaged. At the time, I was a grad student, and Campbell was a flight attendant.
So we actually had our first date a couple of days later, and I was on a flight, and I literally showed up like
An hour and a half late.
an hour and a half late to our date.
She was texting me, warning me, hey, I'm running crazy late. 30 minutes turned into 60 minutes, turned into an hour and a half. I had taken, plenty of girls to first dates at this restaurant, and so the whole wait staff knew me. And they were like, what the hell's going on? Like, where's this date tonight? I mean, it was an hour and a half.
That's embarrassing.
I
I was literally getting ready on the plane when I was working. I was like doing my makeup in the bathroom.
But she was texting me, flight was delayed, whatever, which all turned out to be true. And then, of course, I did wait, and she showed up, and thank God I waited, because really from that moment forward, we were inseparable.
There was a very key moment in our relationship that I will just never forget. I was actually moving into a new apartment, which I barely lived in because we basically moved in together. I asked Jet if he would help me move in, and he literally went to get a U-Haul in Philly. Downtown Philadelphia U-Haul.
Driving that thing through Center City, Philadelphia was an experience.
Took me to IKEA. I bought like the 1,500 piece dresser, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna pay someone to put it together. Like, maybe he'll put it together, and he did. And I was literally in shock. Like, we spent the whole day putting together this IKEA dresser. I was mainly watching, but it was just so like hot, and I'm like, yes, this man can do anything. And it just made me feel so good. We just had this breakthrough moment. It was just really sweet, and it really like catapulted our relationship.
Yeah, and people ask us like, how did you know so fast? And I've always said, because Campbell's like a princess. She looks like a princess. She talks like a princess. She walks like a princess. Everything about her is like a princess. And then in addition to that, it's because she really is the best person that I know. She wants nothing but the best for all good people. She's never jealous. She wants the best for all good people. And that's the number one quality I would want in my wife.
That's really sweet.
Pookie.
I always say that we're like missing puzzle pieces. Like, we complete each other's puzzle. Like, we're totally different, but at the same time, we're so similar. We could be totally ourselves together.
So true.
And I had never even had that before. I didn't even know that was possible. And we both bring out like the best in each other, but also just being able to totally be yourself and not worry about being judged or being like, oh my God, what is this person gonna say about me? Like, we had that so early on.
And that's just when you feel so at home and so comfortable.
Right,
and so
you
in
feel
love.
like you've just,
and
you can't, how could it be any better than just being yourself?
Yeah, I think you realize it can't be, that your soulmates. If you are lucky enough to find that, I think that's the single greatest sign that you found your forever person, your soulmate, your spouse.
I agree.
Love you.
Now, people might not recognize them from this gem, but it was posted on Barstool Sports a while back, and it was when they went to Italy. He bought a laptop to the restaurant. It was like a high-end restaurant, to watch sports. There was a match going on, and he needed to watch it. And I was on Barstool Sports, and a lot of women were like, I would divorce him over that, blah, 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 blah. But like, clearly Campbell gets treated quite well from what it seems on the internet, so maybe she's okay with a little bit of watching a match at dinner. Now, recently Campbell did post a video about how she got her Birkins, I think there was like plural in that, recently, which was her dream come true, and now she literally just brings it to like Chick-fil-A, which is kind of a slay. It's just a little bit soft slay, actually very hard slay.
Story time of the 2 surprises my husband gave me in Paris. I've always dreamed of owning a Birkin, but I didn't think it would happen so soon. He literally bought me a Birkin in New York and brought it to Paris and surprised me with it there. And I'm getting emotional just talking about it because it's seriously a dream, and it's the sweetest thing ever, and I don't think I'll ever be over it. I just feel so grateful. And then the second surprise was that he wanted to get me a leather appointment at Hermes in Paris. And if you know, you know, it is so hard to get an appointment. So when we secured the appointment, I was literally in shock, and I was able to get a Kelly as well. And I have no words. I just feel like the luckiest girl in the world. Love you guys, and let me know if you want to hear how we got the appointment.
Now, that was basically that. A lot of people on the right, I've noticed, defending them because I think they were already seeing that they were being called out and looked into, and I feel like a lot of people on the right just said like, let people be. A lot of people on the left, I think, started looking into their past for obvious reasons. Since then, there's been a subreddit about them, but I've also seen things on TikTok, so I kind of just want to go through my kind of how I went through in look for everything. People started talking about an incident with dresses in uni, Flags and her family, and there were a lot of TikToks about that, so I wanted to look into that. And then there are people basically covering the Pookie law, so let me give you guys the law. So apparently, now you have to bear in mind I am from the UK. I don't have the same level of cultural knowledge about the US as some people, so to me this is just like, I mean, sure, if I saw it just on my own without any context, I wouldn't think anything of it, but that's just because I'm not from the US, before any of you guys, you know. And just being on the internet doesn't mean I've just automatically got American knowledge. Okay, so just let me know what you guys as Americans think about this. So apparently, here's a picture of Pookie from uni or college in these dresses. And apparently it's an Ole Miss K Old South party. But she also dressed up as Melania Trump for Halloween. So someone said on Reddit, somebody commented on TikTok, hello, fellow friend of an ex-friend who is also bridesmaid of Campbell's. Sadly, most of it is true, not all, but the majority. She talks to 2 to 3 max of her 15 bridesmaids. Jett is really that smart, but with intelligence comes manipulation. It's really sad. She does not live that lavish lifestyle she portrays. She has a vehicle with Daddy Fang that is super old. They're also house poor. Only 2 rooms in their home are furnished. Not to mention the trip to Paris and New York City in the same month, sitting in coach. Fangs isn't that loaded. But what about the Birkin and the Kelly then? And this photo, oh my god. This is regarding bridesmaids, which I'll get into in a minute, but I'm just trying to get through all of the kind of controversial political stuff. Here is Jett's mum wearing a Women for Trump t-shirt, and here is Campbell from her uni college days. It's on her Facebook. It's her with the Confederate flag in the back. Now this could just be someone else's room at uni that she was friends with, or it could be her room, or people could have an issue with like, well, why are you friends with people who have Confederate flags up? Once again, the Confederate flag in the UK means a lot less, obviously, than in the US, but I do know it's obviously not great. Now, here is her brother, and she actually liked this photo, and it's him posing with a Confederate flag. Now, she did post an apology about this on Instagram. The ball is called Antebellum Party, where she dressed in a white and pink lace outfit, and she was photographed posing in front of a Confederate flag. And she posted a statement on her Instagram story. She addressed the backlash. She said, as some of you may have seen, some old photos of mine recently resurfaced. At the time these photos were taken, I was 20. I didn't fully understand the impact of my actions the way I do now, 12 years later. I fully apologize for the harm this may have caused and for some, and take full responsibility. She added, Jett and I love sharing our lives with you all and getting to know our community on such an intimate level. Because we live our lives so publicly, everything is on the internet, even my mistakes. We hope to continue to bring you with us on our journey as we continue to learn and grow. It's kind of very standard. Whatever you think about that is whatever you think about that. Now, people are saying basically like, oh, well, it's his side of the family and him that are like Trump supporters and on the right and very kind of stereotypical Southern values. However, people have found, I'm guessing to be Campbell's mum, the real CC Hunt on Twitter, and she posts with American flags in front of Trump, you know, them in front of the Trump Tower with an American flag. Like I said, if you're already on that side, you don't see an issue with it, nothing's going to change your mind. You might actually like them more. If you're on the left, nothing they say is going to make this better, obviously, but I also do feel like a lot of people on the left probably already got those vibes from them, so maybe there was already like a bit of a detachment from them to begin with. So I think that's kind of how this story falls. People are talking about how allegedly Jett put into his prenup that she must get plastic surgery to be with him. And people have shown pictures of her before and after. She has admitted to having a boob job. So there's definitely a level of like, okay, people said that this was in the prenup and she did technically get a few things done. So maybe he did just want like a stereotypical trophy wife, which people are saying like, oh, that's not very Pookie's looking absolutely fire tonight. This is very much like, I'm gonna be making the money, I'm the lawyer from the South, you're gonna be my trophy wife and you have to look amazing, stunning, fantastic, or you're not getting my money, which is kind of gross. Who was at Pook's wedding? We have confirmation Jett rated Campbell a 6 at their wedding. So ranking happened at the rehearsal dinner. The Puckett family attorney was giving a toast but hauled up a poster board along with him. On that board, he used this opportunity to explain what a ladies' man the groom was and how they both discussed and spoke of his dates, often over the phone. That is what I believe the ranking began to unfold. The family attorney went on to describe the hot to crazy scale and then began to rank the bride until the moment he wanted to get engaged. Most there were not familiar with this ranking scale. I, for one, got an education in the inner thoughts of small men. It was a rather interesting moment. It still is my top thing I've ever seen done in or around a wedding. I was shocked at first when it started, but it was so wildly inappropriate it became a joke after the wedding. It was and still is the craziest thing I've ever seen done at a wedding event. Now we have to take these with a grain of salt, right? So that's what I was talking about with the other post where someone said that she only still speaks to about 2 to 3 out of the 15 bridesmaids, and some of the bridesmaids allegedly have been speaking out to say he's not great to her, he doesn't treat her very well. Like they said, the money is kind of a bit false. Like he has some money to spend, but it's not quite as much as people think it is, and they're very like house poor, so they just kind of buy things for optics rather than actually having money to spend. And that he doesn't treat her quite as well as people think, because right now people are like, oh my god, what can I do to have a Jett in my life? I want to be the Pookie, but turns out that maybe even Pookie doesn't have the life that Pookie portrays to have. I actually subscribed to the New York Times for you guys because I wanted to read this article, so where's my £20 for this annual membership? They also said like, oh, pay 50p for the first something and then blah blah blah, but you will save like £70 a year. That's how they get me, and I just subscribed for the whole year. I don't even really know if I want to read the New York Times, but I guess here I am. So a couple went viral, then the internet started digging. Pookie's looking absolutely fire tonight, and it's written by Madison Malone Kircher. So she goes down the whole list of kind of what I've just told you guys. We have been making also parody videos of Pookie's looking absolutely fire tonight, and like this is, they've really blown up over the last kind of month or so. So here's where the inevitable happened. As the couple became more popular, people began digging into their online history. A TikTok user posted a screenshot of what appeared to be Mr. Puckett's LinkedIn and narrated his resume to the tune of 2 million views. This video did not turn up anything unsavory, but rather pointed out Mr. Puckett's academic and professional accolades.
Alrighty, if you were on the hey Pookie is looking absolutely gorgeous side of TikTok, I wanted to look up what Jett does. He's amazing. His career experiences are fantastic. Did investment banking for Citi Banking, managing director, even wrote a book with his father. Super cool guy. I want to hone in on his education experience. Not only does he have a law degree from UPenn, he also graduated valedictorian from UGA, which like, how do you even do that? Oh, and he has his MBA. So anyways, but the valedictorian thing actually boggled my mind. So if you wanted to know how she's able to afford all the Birkins and their trips, it's from his amazing brain.
Then on Reddit, users shared photos of a person they claim to be Miss Puckett. In one, the woman poses in front of a Confederate flag. The photo was still visible as of Wednesday on a Facebook account that appears to belong to Miss Puckett. In another, she wears an old-fashioned gown with a large skirt, which some have said was a costume for an Old South plantation-themed ball. This photo was posted on Pinterest by an account purporting to be the University of Mississippi's chapter of the sorority Phi Mu, of which Miss Puckett was a member. Puckett declined multiple requests to be interviewed for this article. In an email to the New York Times, she wrote that she had addressed the photos on social media. Some of those of mine recently resurfaced. She wrote in an Instagram story, and they go over her apology, and then they go on to basically say how this always happens when someone blows up on the internet and invite people into a bit of their lives. People dig until they find something that they are not happy with, and then they cancel the person that they've just brought up to fame. Now, some people might agree with that statement and say, yeah, that's what we do, that's cancel culture. But then some people might say, well, I'd rather know because I don't want to support someone of these political views. So I think it literally is, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you're here, you're going to stay here throughout the video. And if you're here, you're going to stay here throughout the video. And I don't think opinions are going to change much. Pookie and her fire outfits will likely be forgotten as quickly as they appeared, but the viral cycle will all but certainly begin anew for someone else. It's probably already begun. Which is kind of true. I feel like this always happens. The same happened with Alex Earl. Actually, Alex Earl blew up massively, and then people found out that her family are also Trump supporters, and that she posted in support of Trump in the past, which she has apologized for on live. But people seem to be a lot more forgiving of Alex Earl because I feel like maybe she doesn't give off that vibe anymore, whereas they're very southern, and I feel like that then causes a bit of something in the brain for people where they're like, oh, this makes sense, and you guys probably still behave like that and you think like that, whereas Alex is almost able to, even if she still believes what she used to believe, she's able to fool you because she doesn't look or sound southern, and I feel like that's the stereotype there, right? Because we don't actually know what Alex's leanings are these days. And then there's also a Daily Mail article about this. TikTok's newest influencer sensation, Campbell Puckett, sparks furious racism scandal after images of her cosplaying as a slave owner at a plantation-themed Ole Miss frat party resurface in the wake of her newfound viral fame. The images, which were posted on a Reddit influencer snark page, show Campbell attending what appears to be an antebellum themed party, which is known as the Old South Party at the University of Mississippi. Those parties take inspiration from the period before the American Civil War, when wealthy white planters wielded the majority of power in the South and often owned black slaves. Traditionally, the parties have been associated heavily with the Kappa Alpha fraternity. The parties were thrown into spotlight back in 2021 when then Bachelor contestant Rachel Kirkconnell was slammed over resurfaced images that showed her attending one of the events while she was vying for the affections of the first black bachelor, Matt James. Now, I've heard that they're actually still together, or they go back together. Oh yes, hold on, there's a whole timeline. So September 2020, they were on The Bachelor. They fell in love. 2021, when these things started circulating, James responded that he'll give her the benefit of the doubt. She responded to the allegation, said that she's learning and will continue to learn. Longtime host of the franchise, Chris Harrison, defended her. And after his comments prompted backlash from fans, he actually exited the franchise in June 2021. Please ignore this little half-half moment I've got. I'm learning so much about the American system just by talking about drama on the internet, because I never, before these pictures came out, and if I even just saw the pictures without context, like I said, as a kind of Polish person in the UK, I would have never even known what any of this means. So March, they discussed their breakup at the After the Final Rose special, so they did break up for a little bit. April, spark reconciliation rumors. Matt reveals Rachel gave him an ultimatum, takes Rachel home to North Carolina. Oh, I would love to live in North or South Carolina. I think the Outer Banks has like ruined my life, because I just want to live somewhere around there so bad. And then they make their red carpet debut in July. So he has forgiven her, they're together. Okay, boom. So that happened. Apparently on TikTok, someone said, I don't get how TikTok thinks this is someone to idolize. And this sparked kind of a furious debate. Now, some people are saying, not defending this, but Old South parties used to happen like yearly at very southern schools like Bama and Ole Miss. They only banned them within like the past 8 to 10-ish years. Gross regardless, but Homegirl was there to get drunk. However, several people were quick to fire back at those, excusing Campbell's behavior, with one commenting, 5th generation southerner here, I don't care if it's common, Old South parties are morally reprehensible. There are literally thousands of other ways to get drunk in college without cosplaying as a slave owner, which, I mean, straight to the point, easy for me to understand. Another user also shut down those trying to defend Campbell, writing, yes, we all know now this is a wild kind of party to have had. It's no longer a thing, but people are letting her slide, saying stuff like, why are we digging up stuff from her past? This was 10 years ago, blah, blah. That's bullshit. Another TikToker user took a similar stance, commenting on one video showing the images. Everyone at SEC schools did this theme. Oh my god, that was a tongue twister. Did this theme. Okay, so not a single person had the mental capacity to think, hey, a slavery theme isn't cool, which I mean definitely isn't. And yeah, so I just want to know what you guys think about Pookie. Do you believe the rumors about the prenup and how he's actually not that nice to her? What do you think about the old pictures that came out? As an American mainly, I would love to hear from my American audience on this one. Obviously, I'd love to hear from everyone else. Keep on commenting for engagement, but I'd love to hear from my American audience now. Like, what do you think about all of this from the American perspective? I mean, surely at 20, you kind of understand these things, mainly being from the South and being from America, surely you understand the history and you understand that it's not a good look for a party, it's not a good theme for a party. Like, it's just kind of, it's obviously just disrespectful. And yeah, but what do you think? Do you think Pookie's gonna come out of this okay? Is this the fall of Pookie? Or are people just gonna forget about this? Or are they gonna forget about this but also forget about her, and then therefore she just fades away like a lot of TikTok people do? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to the bell icon for engagement. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.